right, first, let us know, can you hear us? We put the mic here on the chair. Hopefully Maitland does not just, I don't know what she does.
I'm not going to let her touch it.
Don't let her touch it.
Hands in your lap.
I heard that's what you did to her last time.
Yeah, get some tips being a mom.
Colleen's mommy was like, put your hands in your lap. Oh, there goes Jessie. Fixing the lights. As you can tell, we've got some more set pieces. I was here until almost 10 last night.
Jamie built these.
Oh, I've got this really cool track on top, and then this weekend the lights are coming and the rest of the set. I'm very excited. That's my birthday gift. Tomorrow's my birthday! Yay! 44 and proud. I like the doubles. Like there's something special about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay.
I'm not seeing everybody, but I'm trying. Yeah, here we are.
We did it!
I'm live too. Yeah.
Okay. Hi Lumineers, welcome to the Lighter Side Show. We are live on Facebook like we enjoy doing Thursdays at 10 a.m. We're going to keep doing it, so don't worry. This is Colleen. Ta-da! Colleen's going to be on the computer. She's going to see what you're typing, and she's going to read it and engage as Maitland is your host today, and she'll be talking to you about soul families. I purposely pulled my hair back like this so she wouldn't play with it. I've got all my jewelry off. Maitland is a fiddler, but also removing jewelry and dressing in white helps the energy move better in your body. Why? Because everything holds an energy vibration. So those diamond rings from your wedding band or whatever you have, turquoise, has a certain vibration. Same with the color white. White on fabric is the absence of energy, absence of vibration. So it's much easier to work with and channel with. Just in case you were thinking about that. So I have some housekeeping notes first. Number 1, the Lighter Side Show is turning into the Lighter Side Network. Holy cow. This is the first in the South. Could be in the U.S. I have no idea. I did not do my research. But first in the South where we have an online network that just focuses on how the everyday meets the extraordinary. Like the Everyday Medium. Like Darshna Patel. Enlighten Up is her show. Like Ursula Lentini. She's doing The Way of the Spiritual Path. And then Laura Boone, she's doing
Real Ethereal.
The Real Ethereal.
Do we have this
back and forth with Shine
I have
on.
people saying they can't hear very well. It's because that's not in the...
Look, I'm up and on it.
We're fixing the sound.
Here, check out my white shirt for a second.
Okay, we're back.
Take 3. Oh, that's Jesse's job.
Action.
Action. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lumineers. I hope you're here. Thank you so much for the patience. I was sharing when the mic was down. I was in the bathroom changing into my whites, and there are so many spirits here that normally are not here. And I didn't know, maybe it was for my birthday, for tomorrow, or if there was just some extra booming whatever. And Colleen's like, of course the camera's down, of course the sound. Oh, it's crazy with everybody, all the spirits here. Fingers to keyboard, please let us know if you can see us, and please let us know if you can hear. We do want to fix those kinds of things for you. We like going live on Facebook. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with you guys. We like to engage with you. We want to know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, so please reach out and let us know. Also, if you have any show ideas that you want to contribute, do that. Send us an email. Send us a contact form. You can find us online at the Lighter Side Network. Yes, we do have a page because you might know the Lighter Side Show is turning into the Lighter Side Network. There'll be 5 of us, and I'm kind of fishing around for a few more, but I'm not going to tell you right now. But it's great stuff, and I think we are maybe the only ones in the South putting this together. We are super excited. Hopefully we'll have some live in-person ones. So please, go to Vimeo, guys. Sign up. Subscribe. Other than that, we do have some housekeeping notes before we get rolling. Maitland is going to be your host today. She's going to talk to you about soul families. Good luck with that. I just feel like somebody needs some good luck. I don't know. It's been going crazy. So I have my notes here that I'm going to read so I don't miss anything. Hey, I want to say super duper thank you for everybody who registered to come out and see the free preview of the Creative Play of Consciousness tonight. I haven't seen it yet, so this is going to be my first time watching it in front of you guys. I'm thrilled. It is full, but I just want to say thank you. And we are giving away a free copy of it. And if you want to register for that free giveaway, look at the link. Colleen's going to put it up, and she's going to announce tomorrow, Friday at 5, who gets the DVD set, and we'll mail that out to you. Deepak Chopra's in it. Can I name drop now? I'm so excited.
Yeah, of
I've
course.
only watched the credits about a half a dozen times, but I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm too nervous to watch it. Even Alexander, Neil Donald Walsh,
It's a
Dean
full lineup.
Radin, my Rupert Sheldrake. We're going to go on a date one day. I know it. It's just, my husband's going to have to deal with that one. I don't mean it like that. We have classes in person coming up. Sorry they're not online, but one that we have is Spiritual Tools to Talk, and we're going to do that on April 29th. It's a Saturday class, so if you're here in the South, come on by. It's from 9 to 2, and it's strictly hands on the tools. We're not going to talk about I am a singular person. I forget sometimes. I'm not going to talk about your belief systems or what to do kind of in your head, but it's like, how do I get my hands on the Ouija board? How do I manage a talking board? Pendulums, we're going to make our own. Dowsing rods, we're going to make our own. We were going to practice tarot. We're going to practice scrying. And if there's some free time, we're going to do some more arts and crafts because I love a hands-on classroom. In-person classes, February 9th, my nonprofit, the Love and Light Institute, has a give back. Give backs are at low cost, so $10. Come and join me for an hour and a half. We're going to talk about, is it imagination or intuition? So am I intuitive or am I imagining it?
I think it's your imagination.
Is it your imagination?
I'm just kidding.
I'm so gullible right now because my head is like,
I'm just messing with you, Jamie.
technology and me need to have a new relationship.
I won't mess with you.
Thanks. There are a lot of spirits here right now. It's so ridiculous. We have public channelings. The next one is February 17th. That is also in person. But guys, I'd like to hear from you. Do you like online things like this? Because we can put public channelings on Facebook. We can also put them on Learn It Live. What are you thinking? We'd like to know what you're thinking. Let us know. All right, let's get out of here. We also have our intermediate and advanced classes coming up on Learn It Live. If you want to dive deeper into the things that you already practice every day, I'd love to have you in class. Ultimate goal for the advance is learning how to channel. And I want to say a big thank you to all my basic mediumship people, especially for hanging in there with a little bit of technical difficulties that we're going to catch up with tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Learn It Live. So I'll see you one more time for a little bit on my birthday. My daughter's like, I think we all know it's your birthday tomorrow. I was like, I only got one day out of the entire year that I get to annoy you guys.
You're
that it's
allowed.
my birthday. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm working it at my house. I'm drilling it in. Okay, for those of you who are sensitive or can see energy, if you're sensitive, you might feel a shift. Even where you are, though we're not in the same room, but you are connecting to us through video and through sound, and that has vibration as well. And if you are seeing energy or practicing energy, check out this side of my body. See if you can see some lights or warpness from the background. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Jamie.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie.
Let's see if this goes okay. Nothing's going to blow up, right?
I feel a
Everything's
really
gonna-
kind of like whirlwind of
Right?
something going on. Can you feel that, Jesse?
I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, there's like something, it's like, are like 20 Maitlands coming in? It's just like, what is going on?
Crash the set.
It's really something.
No,
it's really
I
something.
was here till 10 p.m. last night installing the tracks. No, don't trash the set.
I'm not going to let her trust us.
Thanks.
Okay, bye, Jamie.
Bye. You can keep talking to him. How's that? Look at that. All excitement, right to yawning. It's the way my body adjusts energy. I'm here.
Hi, Maitland.
Hi, Maitland.
Hi, Jesse.
There's a lot of excitement around your arrival. We were feeling it.
Because
It was-
it's me. Hi, everybody. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I'm just teasing because I was around and it took 17 minutes for her to figure it out. You can check. I counted. Hi. I wish you were here so I could hear you. So my name is Maitland, Maitland, for those who don't know me, because there's a few who don't know me, and I love you. And I'm 9 years old. I don't have to be 9 years old. I choose to be 9 years old, just like Colleen is not 9,
No, I am not.
but she doesn't act her age, and she can choose not to act her age. The reason I like being 9 is because you can talk about really big, profound things, and people think it's cute. And they want to listen to it, and they want to understand it the way that you see it. And so I really like using that to help people understand where they are and where they're going and how they're connected to all that is. My favorite thing is I like to talk about animals, and some weird things that maybe people don't know about me is that my favorite color is blue. I do have blonde hair, and I like to talk about economy and community, and I also like to talk about aliens.
And today we're talking about...
Soul families. I forgot that.
I just want to remind you.
I like this. Woo, woo, woo. That feels fun. I would like to have my hair like this all the time. My mom used to braid my hair so tight it would make my head hurt. Did your mom ever do that?
I've actually done that to myself.
Wow, you're strong. So, soul families. I would like to have this more of a conversation so that if you have questions, I would like for you to ask them. Jesse, if you have questions, I would like for you to ask them about what soul families are, okay?
All right, I don't know what a soul family is, so why don't you give me the whole...
I'm going to start with
We're
the
gonna break it down.
definition.
Okay.
And same with Colleen, because I think it's fun when we're all together in this on the same page. And so, first of all, let's talk about what a soul is, because a soul is the energy that is inside the body. That's a soul. And then when the soul leaves the body, it becomes spirit. So that's a quick way we can use the words to differentiate where a soul is located. So if it's soul, it's in a body and it's working something, or it's in a tree, or it's in an animal, or it's in an insect. But if it's spirit, then it's outside of those elements. And when you're spirit, you're all defined the same, even though you might have the characteristics of a tree and you might have the characteristics of who you were in that body that you just left. Like, I still have my Maitland characteristics from 1933 in Chicago, and I have other lives that I've done, and I can find those characteristics as well and bring those in, but I like this. This is who my spirit enjoys connecting to and enjoys being. So when we talk about spirit, it's not like talking about people and animals and plants, because you see them as being very separate, right? I'm not even being funny yet. You see them as being very separate. Like, that is Jessie, that is Colleen, that is Jen, that is April, that is Tom. Like, you are separate. But in spirit, it's not that we're totally separate. We're not. We can still hold our character and our likes or our dislikes. You know, that's what I mean by character or stories. But we are more a part of each other than ever before. So, spirit is taken from, and I'm going bottom up, is what I'm doing. I'm going bottom up. So we did soul, and then we did spirit, and then spirit is part of a group. And so this group could be 20, 30, 50, 100. It could be 500. It could be so many, because can I have paper?
Sure, just we'll get you some paper.
This is paper.
Yeah, that's paper. You know what, Maitland? Flip that over.
Hold on, Maitland.
Yeah.
You can have
Knock over
that
the
one.
cameras here.
Ooh.
Well, you got it.
Just flip it over.
Here we go.
I don't want the back side.
Okay.
Jamie may not want to mark on this.
I don't want to get in trouble. Because when you're a spirit, you're a part of a group. Now, what I want you to understand is that your spirit, even if it's Tom's spirit, Jen's spirit, Jamie's spirit, that spirit can connect to all the other lives that you chose to live. Let's say you chose to live 5 other lives or 100 other lives, because nobody's telling you how many you can choose or not choose, because you are definitely free willing your own choices. I thought that was funny.
I like it.
Free willing.
Free willing, like freewheeling.
Yeah, like
I just got
in a
it.
car.
Yeah,
Or
I
Free
got you.
Willy. That's
Free
a
Willy.
movie.
It is a movie.
I've
I thought
seen
you were
it.
saying like free will. Like free
Yeah,
willin'.
it's supposed to be
Okay.
free will. Free willin'. That's funny.
It is funny.
Okay. So that spirit can connect to all your other lives. So now I want you to see your spirit and think of just about your name, who you are today, and your pet. You know, like if you don't want to think about you can think about your pet, Sunny. And your pet Sunny has that life, and that's that identity, and that's that spirit. But that spirit is actually comprised of all the other lives you chose to live. And not kidding, whether it's 5 or 100. So you could be the middle of the wheel, and all the spokes come out, and all the spokes are the different lives that you chose to live. And it will work if you're thinking about yourself in any other incarnation you chose. Like from the 1900s, or from the caveman, or from Greece, or from Mars, or from wherever. You can think about yourself as being in the middle, and all the other spokes are all the lives. Got it? So like you're a wheel.
You got it, Jesse?
There you go.
Yeah.
So you
If you don't, ask questions.
you are in the middle, and then you have all your other lives. When I'm drawing it, it looks like sunshine.
It does.
And so that wheel of everything, that wheel, that's you. That's you. When we say you, it has to include all your incarnations. When we talk about you spirit, all incarnations. Because this you is tied up in a group. But you know, this is where it's going to get hard. So you ask questions, okay? So let's say now we have Colleen, Colleen. And we have Colleen's wheel and all her lives and spokes. But she's in my family. She's in my soul group. My soul family and my soul group, those are words that can be interexchanged.
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And so can these two definitions be used interchangeably? Soul family or spirit family?
Yes.
They can. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that, because so your spirit, and really from what you're explaining and what you said earlier, I would think of us calling it more of a spirit family would be more of the proper way to say it.
That would be an easier way to identify that we're talking about souls that don't have bodies.
Okay.
Okay. And so you could have 30 or 40. Do you see? But now I have to explain another layer. What if, I don't know how to draw the picture. What if the spokes in your wheel, one was bent? And so there you are in the middle, and the spoke comes out like this. I don't have any more pins. But imagine there's more spokes, but then this one is bent. It is bent down. And this spoke, that one incarnation that is you, is actually in a different soul group. Spirit family. I'll follow Colleen's lead. Spirit family. Because one incarnation of you that you're choosing to do can be in a different spirit family, because it could be an agreement or something that you designed or made to do. Traditionally, spirit families go together, whether it's 5 of them or 100 of them. Some will stay behind in spirit, and some will come down to be souls on earth or souls in other dimensional planes and play out their lives to learn agreements or lessons or remembrances, whatever you want to call it. But in general, those travel together, whether behind, and I'm going to be your guide, or I'm with you in this lifetime over here off of this spoke, but I'm not with you off of this spoke. You're in that with 5 others in your soul, in your spirit family. Because there's so many different combinations that you can do. Even the combination of having that one incarnation that your spirit becomes a soul and the spoke spins down and it reaches this spirit family down here. Because I think that's where we get lost. As humans, we want things to be very black and white, and we want them to be measurable and something that we can go, well, that is correct. We looked at that and that's what it is, and we're right, we can move on. Or we're wrong and we have to fix it, and then we can move on. But when we're talking about energy and kind of why we have these divisions to begin with, it's all about connecting to people. It's all about finding out who we are by having experiences with others. And when I say people, I mean souls and bodies. So a soul in a tree, I mean a soul in an insect, a soul in an animal, be wild or domestic. Like, we find out who we are by having experiences with them. So that's why the spider in your house is an important part of you. Because you have to decide how are you going to react to that soul and what's your relationship, and you better understand yourself, whether you're very, very, very afraid of them, or you have compassion for them because they're kind of in a place where they're not going to get a lot of food, and you want to help them outside, or whether you feel like you know best and you can end their life because they're in your space. But there's a relationship there. We have to talk about death. That's important. And so with the soul, with the spirit families or spirit groups, those exist, right? So we have the bigger circles, whether it's 5 or 100, that makes a bigger group. And then in that bigger group, you're going to see some little spokes sticking out and touching other groups. And so you're going to see that each group kind of has a call or a pull to another group. And some people think, wow, there must be a lot of spirit families and a lot of spirit groups, right? Because there's a lot of people on earth. But I want to challenge you. Because your soul inside of you can be in many places at one time, you could be in maybe 30 other people, or 5 other animals, 6 other trees, 2 other insects, and maybe a lion in Africa. Who knows? So I throw that out there because as you might be understanding, when you get down the spiritual path and you start understanding emotion and energy, and then that propels you to dive in to think about what are thoughts and how does all of this play together, you start realizing that time is a tricky thing. Time isn't always your friend, and time is lying to you because it's not linear. And that's frustrating. And all those lives that you chose to live are happening right now. They're not happening 100 years ago. They're not happening 500 years in the future. It's happening now. So when I say you're 3 other people, 2 other trees, 1 other insect, and a lion in Africa, then I'm saying to you, time is not linear. And the choices that you've made with your free will of all the souls that you wanted to experience are happening now. And so you're pulling from that. Even though you have just your character your story, your name, your identity. That identity is connected to all the other lives. And all those other lives have agreements with souls that are in your spirit family that are happening in all other different incarnations. And then those groups, right? That's why I'm saying there's not that many groups. You might think there's like millions because there's billions of people, and I'm going, it's not that many. Thousands and thousands, but not like millions. Don't compare it to how many people are on Earth, because that's not accurate. And you can't really compare it to how many aliens there are out there in other dimensional planes and other locations, because that's not going to be as accurate either. So why do we have the individualness where we experience a character and a personal story, and we design agreements? I mentioned before, it's so that we get to know ourselves. And that's what the soul, the spirit families and spirit group, I don't want this anymore.
You can put it on the table next to you.
The soul, the spirit groups and spirit families, that they exist because they want to know each other. It is what we could call, like when you make friends in this life, even as an animal or a tree, there's people that you get along with really well, isn't there? Like you like, and it works, and you can talk to them, and you can be mean to them because they're not listening, and then you forgive and embrace. So the thread that's between you is very strong, and you can pull on it hard and it doesn't break, or you can make it relaxed, and it doesn't need to be anywhere specific. It gives way to you. And that's what the spirit families are for, because the spirit families can be maybe and I'm going to be very forward, and I apologize if it triggers something within you, but I want to get your minds thinking. So let's say if you were raped or you were mugged, that person could possibly be in your spirit family. They're playing such an extreme role, and it is more difficult to be in a denser vibration and have difficult experiences like rape, being making a victim, murder, robbing, hurting, things of that nature, than it is falling in love. So it's something that I find that people on Earth don't think about a lot, is that when we come across the people who are very, what you call negative and mean and hurtful, that we see them as being evil, but it takes more energy to be evil. It takes more energy to be in pain. It takes more energy to suffer and to hurt and feel separate. So it requires more power, more stuff, more of that. And because that's what the energy looks like. It's like, wah! Because it takes less of that to be in harmony and balance, and it creates an ease of life. Less does not mean weak. And power does not mean strong. Okay? That's a human definition. Get it out of there. So ease doesn't mean weak. Power does not mean strong when we're talking about these terms. Because the ultimate goal of soul is to experience the harmony and love and ease. Because that expands so much more than what the hurt, the harm, the murder, the rape, the robberies, things like that. Love expands more, and that's strength. That's strong. The act of the harm is very narrow. It doesn't expand a lot. Even though it has a lot of power to it, it's not strong. I hope that makes sense when I explain that. So most of the time, when you're having those things where you're getting hit by that bit of, ouch, I didn't like that, that was awful, those people or animals are in your spirit family. Isn't that interesting? Whereas those would be the people that you're looking at and going, I don't like them, I hate them, they're evil, I want away from them, it's not. And so when you hear the sayings that say, love thy enemy, probably because they're in your family. They're not that far away from you. Are we getting fingers to the keyboard?
We are.
I want to hear about it.
I have several questions for you, but I have some questions that I'm going to kind of put together.
She's going to
And-
mash them together.
So if we could take it just down a notch, because some people are confused. And I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, Maitland. But let's take it down a notch to a little bit more human bubble and talk about like our immediate families as humans and our immediate friend groups and how we might feel our soulmate, our soul sister, you know, are those people, for instance, my husband and my daughter, are they 100% in my soul family?
No, they don't. They are not 100% in your
Okay.
soul family. And what's interesting with your family members, your daughter and your husband might be in the same spirit family, and you might be in the same spirit family as your husband, but not the same spirit family as your daughter.
That's interesting.
Well, that's the example of the spoke I was trying to show.
Sure. That's why I was trying to get like more, you know, where we could understand and not take us. I mean, I know that there's a lot of Lumineers that will be like, oh yeah, they can get the real heady stuff, but then taking it down, so, you know,
Yeah, just
we can
because
understand it as well.
these two people are in it and you're associated to one of them doesn't mean you're in the other's group.
What about in situations where you have a relationship with someone, and you know, we've all had that person, it doesn't necessarily need to be our partner or our husband, wife, but you meet someone and there's this instant connection, and you're like, okay, she's my soul sister. You know, that is those kind. Go ahead.
Those are the doorbells that say,
Yeah.
guess what? I'm in your spirit family.
Okay.
Just you and I.
But that's the way that we could feel when we meet our significant other.
Yeah. It can.
Okay.
But you're not. Some of us are not. Husband, wife, wifey, manny, aren't in the same groups. You're coming together to grow, to love, and you could be passionately in love. When you're passionately in love, that is not a signature stamp of being in the same spirit family. Mm-mm. I just wanted to throw that out there. Did I confuse you more? Go ahead, keep reading.
I don't think so. Are you on board, Jesse? You have any questions?
I think I got it. Maitland, I'm thinking kind of, is it like a brain cell? Like in the neurons, how it connects? Is one, like it's kind of the spokes or the connections between the brain cells? That's kind of how I'm...
That's an interesting way to put it.
That's a good heady example, and it gives a really good visual.
It does. Okay, so I have a question from Whitney Leon.
Hi, Whitney.
And Whitney is the woman who suggested this topic for today. So we're gonna take her question. And she says, "Hi Maitland, Soul Families was my suggestion. Thanks for choosing it. Will we have significant players in our lives that are not part of our soul group? I had a brief marriage many years ago, and I always had a feeling that we were not of the same soul family. Is that possible, or did we just decide to play that role for one another?"
That is very possible. Just because you have an intimate relationship with someone does not mean that you're in the same spirit family. Just if you're in deep, hard love with someone doesn't mean you're in the same soul family. Because you can have agreements with all other kinds of souls that are in other families to play out lessons learned or what you want to get out of experiencing this life. Did that answer it? I really like this topic. Thank you.
I like it too.
Whitney.
You took it up a notch compared to what I was thinking about. So I like
really?
that. Yeah.
Well, we have a very smart audience.
We do.
And I think that one of the things that I really love about doing things like this and having this kind of format is that we don't have to talk about all the things that we can find in books and that we hear in lectures that talk to the group as a large.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's time to get to the details. I like the details.
Okay, I have a question from Colleen Italiano Mueller.
Italiano.
I like that. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Colleen asks, "Can you know when you have met someone in your soul family, and how do they feel familiar?"
Yes. You can consciously identify when you've met somebody in your soul family because you feel like you already know them. So it could be like deja vu. There could just be something kind and attractive about them, but you can't put your finger on it. It could be you meet someone and then they're stuck in your head for a little while, but they didn't do anything spectacular to be stuck in your head. It was just like, oh, that person behind serving me the coffee, they were really neat. And you just kept wanting to talk about or engage with them. So it could be something as subtle as that. And then there's also times, Colleen, where you can see somebody from just across the way or even on TV and just go, I know you. And I don't know why I know you, but I know you. And so it's those, what you would call on earth, those crazy thoughts that have no validity in a book or something that you had information on previously that shows up like that. You call it crazy, but that is a sign too that you would know that person. And then Colleen, there's sometimes where I can cuss, can't I?
Oh, no. Can we cuss on Facebook? I don't know.
A mean person?
Yeah, just call them a mean person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you come across a mean person and then they stay in your life for a very long time and they're just causing conflict. And they just have it out for you. They just want to attack you and cause conflict and throw rocks and marbles in front of your feet and tacks and things like that. And you're just like, I'm just trying to move through my life and be an honest, good person. And they're like, well, yeah, here's some more tacks for you. And then you step on them and it hurts. And you're like, I just don't understand. And you're like, I don't like that person. That person, most of the time, Colleen, that person's in your spirit family because they're providing you with the conflict to give you the opportunity to observe, to change, to rise above, however you want to see it, but to apply your enlightenment on the situation. That's what's so nice about Earth, is that you have those big, broad experiences. Because in other life experiences that you can do, you don't get those kinds of marbles and tacks and meanness and things like that. That just doesn't, those vibrations don't exist there. So it's one of the things that's so special. Even war. I know people are like, what?
No, I mean, it makes sense. We always hear that, we're on earth to suffer and to learn lessons. And I mean, I know that there's a lot more than that, but that's not happening other places. It's happening here. This is where the mean people are. This is where the suffering is.
Which is, it's funny because when you say it like that, our ears over here go.
It's really not funny.
Because the definition of the mean and the suffering and the victim and the pain,
I realize that
only comes from the individual. Mm-hmm. It really is not coming from the situation. It's coming from the translation of the experience.
Absolutely.
The you.
It's hard to get past that sometimes.
There is no suffering, and there is no meanness, and there is no hurt, no victim, no war. It's what you choose, how you choose to react to it. And I even mean that to the very extreme examples that you can think of in your head right now. And then you can go, whoa, Maitland. That's different. And that's okay to be different right now. Because the further you get down the path of energy and start to really make a relationship with it, what I'm saying right now will sound, so doable, kind of common. But to hear it for the first time is like, no way, I'm out of here. That guy who raped me, I hate him. He is horrible. He's supposed to die. Yeah, I agree about breaking boundaries and things like that. But the suffering and the way that you experience it comes from you. That I will stand by, even though some people are like, no. I just encourage you. We're still friends and I love you. But get to know energy a little bit better and how you're experiencing it. And then you can understand the relationships of why we're doing this and why we're in these families and these groups and so forth. You have more questions. I would like to do
Oh, we have a ton of questions.
I like them.
I have one more personal question.
Okay.
And it is because it's on this topic. So I have something in my life where people that are a big part of my life, I moved around a lot and they'll go away. And then all of a sudden, 10 or 30 years, they'll show back up. I mean, like,
Spirit
I have some
families do
crazy
that.
stories like that. So I'm always thinking, are these people part of my spirit family? Mm-hmm. Because we're always coming back full circle. I'm talking states to states. It's really something, yeah.
It is very something.
It
We
is.
would love to hear the stories. Like, Jesse is part of your daughter's spirit family.
I believe that.
But not part of yours.
I believe that. Yeah, I can definitely see where he's part of my daughter's.
I just thought I would say that because they were in contact for a long time, and then he got the job, and now he's here, and so that's part of one of her weird stories.
Sure. Well, and they also share, like, isn't your birthday like a day apart? And
We're the same Enneagram. Our birthdays is.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Jesse and my daughter.
That's wild.
It is. And I think a lot of luminaries, I talk a lot about my 10-year-old daughter, but I also have a 21-year-old daughter. So I didn't want to think like Jesse's good friends with my daughter Lily. Which
I love Lily.
I think get along too, but just to throw that out there. There's another one of me.
But you also have another daughter,
I do.
and
I
she's
do.
here this morning too.
Yes. Yeah. I do have another daughter, Ella, in spirit.
And we were playing.
And she
the
likes to
game
hang around.
in the bathroom
Yeah.
before the show. We were having fun. I really like this a lot. Oh, we have more questions.
Okay, absolutely. Let's see. I lost my spot. I do. I get so connected to you and I lose my screen.
Because it's so much fun. Like, your pet can be in your spirit family.
Oh, yeah.
And your pet can come from a completely different country and end up on the side of the road, and somebody else finds them and gives them to you, and that's how they find you. That's how they connect. And you have an agreement with the pet, and the pet plays that out, and you play it out for them and take care of them. And even the energy in the trees, because sometimes people move into homes just because of the trees that are around and the plants. So think about that next time you pull a weed. I'm kidding. You take care of your stuff the way that you want to. That's the part of being human. Nobody's judging you. I'm just teasing.
Okay, I have a question from Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Chenault, and I think a lot of people can relate to this question. What's up with soul families and addiction? Both of my parents suffered from drug addiction, and I have an addictive personality, and I'm struggling with it. Can you share anything with us?
So, Daniel, there's something very different about human and ancestral lineage.
Sure. Generational. Right? How-
From
Either way.
from the human genes and the human bodies, because let's say, Daniel, you ended up in the Smith family, and your parents, is a Smith and a Jones, and then when you leave the Smith family and cross over, that doesn't necessarily mean you're incarnating back into the Smith family. So we have lineages on Earth, and it's similar to kind of lineages in spirit. So when we look at addictive personalities, these are mostly related to physical earth matter and the genes and the DNA and the bodies. And the reason why your parents got together is because there was so much similarity with their addictions that they kind of codependently supported each other into having their addictions be okay for a little bit. And so when they got together, then those genes passed on, and that's why you're moving with that. Now, with that said, not every single case is like that, where it is matter that's creating the addiction, the human lineage, because sometimes it is a very spiritual agreement. And most of the time, like with you, before you came into this world, you chose these parents and you decided that you would do this addiction in this lifetime and that you would understand it better. And by having addictions, you have to create a nice discipline, which we're now going to call lumaplan, because most people see discipline as being very difficult and very hard, and it's not. It's a lumaplan. It's an agreement you make with yourself that you're going to do the kind, solid, healthy choices for you, and help your mind stop doing the destructive and undermining things. And it will require a lot of therapy and help, but it can be corrected and achieved. So with you specifically, you spiritually looked at the earth lineage, saw that it would produce addiction, agreed to the experience, right? And you are playing it out in human form and spiritual form. But some people have it as a gene, but it's not part of their spiritual lesson or agreement. I didn't mean to sound so confusing.
No,
Did
it's
it-
interesting. Yeah, I'm processing what you're saying. I think I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to go on.
Okay.
We don't get it. So Karina wants to know, if our souls are in multiple places at once, why do we feel so singular? Like, why do I feel like, even though I'm this expansive being, why do I feel so Colleen?
Yeah.
You know, in my immediate...
Because it's part of the contract you signed when you came in. You're like, I'm going to lick the pen and I'm going to write and sign that. When I come here, I'm going to get kicked in the head and have some amnesia. And so that I don't recall all the other goodness. Because if I can recall all the other goodness and all the other experiences that I'm having, I'm going to look at this life and go, why? What am I doing? Why did I jump back in? That's why people who can remember their other incarnations or have a high empathy or spiritual tend to have more of depression, because they know what the greatness is beyond this world and they don't really want to stay here. And so a lot of them end up taking their own lives so that they can get out of here early. And I kind of don't blame them at all. But it's much easier to have the root feeling of singularity, because then you can focus on the agreements you decided to do in this life. It is a gift. It's nice to have. And then you have those aha moments, those small moments where you go, oh, it's so big and beautiful. And I'm going to remember this forever. And I'm going to keep this alive in my head and in my heart because I want to be this person. And you go to sleep. This is so wonderful. And you wake up and you go, ah, man, I'm just me today. It goes away. It snaps away. And it's not like you want it to, but the vibrations that you're provided with on earth is to help you understand what it feels like just to be a singular identity, though that's not the real truth. You are more expansive and big. That's why you get these moments of knowing and understanding. And now what you have to do with that is trust that those moments are real, and you don't dismiss them like a dream. You don't dismiss them as like a, I don't know, just something that happened and you can't maintain it, so it's not real. It is real. And you hold on to it and you keep it with you and you keep it with you, and it starts building your awareness, your enlightenment. And then soon those chunks of aha moments get more frequent, and then they kind of attach together. And that way of growing into knowing, feeling, sensing the bigger vibrations, it's safe. You don't feel like, oh, this sucks that I'm human again. You're like, it's beautiful being human. I'm very grateful to do this struggle. I'm very grateful to have this with me. I'm very grateful to love. So it creates for a different experience. Right, Sigmund? Right.
You ready for another question?
Yeah, I am.
So I am paying attention that they were saying that we had some sound issues. Jesse, are you checking on that?
No!
It sounded okay.
Okay, so we're okay on our end. I did hear some people saying if you exit the video and come back on, that the sound will be better. But I've looked and we've got everything hooked up. And Jesse's behind the camera
Jesse's on it.
with his earbuds on, trying to check it out. So someone was asking a question. Oh, I think it was Jesse. Not Jesse behind the camera, another Jesse online. And she was asking, and this is something that's been so fascinating to me, what about doppelgangers? I mean, there are some people around the world that look exactly like us. And it's crazy.
Isn't it neat?
It's so, like, have you seen that picture of those two guys that they posted online, and they sat next to each other on an airplane, and they were twins, but not really twins. They looked exactly alike.
I haven't seen that picture. Can you find it?
I don't know.
So a doppelganger,
I'm not that multitasking.
a few different ways that this can happen is simply the genes on Earth, family lineage, similarities, things like that. Like it's all Earth matter. But in soul families, spirit families, there are energies that are vibrating almost exact, kind of like how you would visually see twins, like their bodies are exactly alike. So they have same vibrational qualities to maintain that. But with spirit, we can have almost exact vibrational spirit. And so if exact vibrational spirit comes into bodies, that quality can kind of change and morph as their physical bodies are growing to exhibit the vibration that they have within their soul. And that's how sometimes when people see each other, they feel like they're exactly alike on the inside and out.
And does the same go for mannerisms? Do you know how you'll meet somebody and you're like, they don't look anything like your friend, but they act exactly like your friend? They have the same mannerisms, the same kind of facial expressions. How does that work?
A lot of the expressions in the body is how the instrument is built.
Okay.
So when we're talking about physical bodies, we have to take a lot into DNA and genetics and the lineages, kind of where your family stemmed from and what traumas they went through, because that will shape what they're passing down into your body. And that is the instrument that you get. But how you use the instrument is very unique. So the use of the instrument is the soul vibration inside of the instrument. And if those are similar, it'll start changing the instrument to meet its needs. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the instrument itself has so much vibration that it affects the vibrational quality of the soul. But the mannerisms and looks in general are all genetic and body stuff. And it's a great study. And if you find that very interesting, I would love for you to look at it, like to research it.
Okay. We have a handful of questions about how does adoption and soul families intertwine?
It's amazing. Absolutely. I would say most of the time, like high in the 90s, that when you do adoption, they are in your spirit family. And there's crazier stories too. Like if you look at Jamie and Rui was born in Africa. He moved to Portugal, Montreal, Toronto, Brazil, and then he went to college in Florida. And that's when somebody introduced them and said, hey, I'm going to introduce you to your soulmate. This is the man you're going to marry. Hey, I'm going to introduce you to your soulmate, and this is the woman you're going to marry. That's how they were introduced. And they were. And they are. And they're married. And so, like with babies, I mean, they're born in one location, and then you have to apply. And so, like, there's many people in the works of making sure that those energies get connected. And they get connected, and it's a great fit. And same with puppies and kittens.
Chickens?
Lizards, cows. I like cows. Go ahead.
Okay. Monica Roper has a
Monica.
question. When your soul splits and you are living many different lives, do you ever glitch and feel or see the life from the other one?
Oh, I like it that you call it a glitch. That's what I think of when you glitch. Yes, and you call that deja vu. So a lot of times when you're having deja vu or you're feeling something that's similar or the same, it is because you have done it before, and most likely you are doing it in another lifetime at the same time you're doing it in this lifetime. So yes, you can glitch. And we don't want to, can we call it something else?
Besides a glitch?
Yeah, because glitch sounds like something that you have to repair. And I would say don't repair that, because I think that's very neat. And I would say if you are able to do that, then you're already at a certain vibration, or you want to call it enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, that you can engage in your other lifetimes, then I would enhance that. Because you're in a position where the work you're doing in this life is heavily going to influence the work you're doing in all your other lifetimes, right? Because no matter what life you're living, you're in the center of the wheel. It's just perspective when you're looking at your own lives. And then the work that you're doing is going to come down those spokes, those different incarnations, And that knowledge is going to spread. So you're constantly getting better across all your lifetimes. So the glitches are
It's almost like those glitches. I know in my experience, when I have deja vu, it makes me pause. It's almost like it's not a glitch. It's this really millisecond pause that goes, whoa, what was that? So every time we have deja vu, that's what's happening?
yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. That explains a lot. Okay, so Jessie has told me that we have 5 minutes.
No, we don't.
Maitland wants another, how many? 2-3 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That'd be great if we could do like a 4-hour Facebook Live.
Maitland Marathon.
We've got 5 minutes. And so I am going to take 2 more questions.
What is time, really, Colleen?
I know. In the context of us right now, that's what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. So we have some people asking about family constellations. Can one do family constellations with their soul family? Maitland, what do you think of family constellation work to heal unhealthy ancestral or soul contracts?
What do you mean by constellation?
I think that's a term that's used, like constellation work. You're not familiar with family constellation work? We can move on and have them. Will you provide us a link?
Yes.
For family constellation work? Okay. So what about if you've lost a child, either through, this is from Sydney,
Hi, Sydney.
either through miscarriage or abortion. I think she's talking about if you lose a child before they're with you in this lifetime, you know, when they're still with your body. Does this soul of that child come back the next time you get pregnant? I had dreams that make me curious.
Most of the time, absolutely yes. Because when you're going to miscarry, have an abortion, have a stillbirth, that spirit who is working its way to be in the body that your body is making.
That's Jamie's ringer. Jamie's phone's ringing. And like we can't see ourselves.
It's really
it's
funny.
interrupted the video.
That's very funny. Mom.
Okay.
Mommy.
Sorry.
Mama. Mama.
Jamie's phone was ringing and we've got cut off. So keep going.
So the baby, the spirit that is going to incarnate into the baby in the belly, whether it doesn't form properly and it has a miscarriage, or you have to abort it for whatever reasons, or it's a stillbirth, or it just doesn't survive, that spirit knows. It knows it's going to happen, and that spirit is there to help you process the experience. It's not cramming in there and experiencing the death and the suffering and all this. It's not necessary for that to occur. Like, we experience that in other ways. Like, we can go into bodies where we pass away when we're 6 months old with SIDS or leukemia at the age of 5, or, you know, it just doesn't. We have other ways of experience crossing over and passing. We don't need to do it before the body is actually formed and can sustain life. So we already know, and a lot of times we come up next to the body and we stay with the mom and we help the mom through everything. And then when the mom has the birth that actually happens, we're considered first in line. Unless we're nice and we're like, kid number 2 really wants to come in, and we work our agreements and we're like, okay, sister or brother, you can go next, and then I'll catch the next one. Because we're aware of the conception timing that you have in your lifetime, so we can line up to fulfill the family agreements and help out that way. So yes, because I've met a lot of my friends who worked with mommies that had a hard time getting pregnant, and they had like 4, 5 miscarriages. And he was just so patient. He waited through every single one, and it was like the 6th or something that she had the baby, and premature, and had to go to the hospital for a long time, but he made it. And he was so happy. It was him every single time. So yes.
Okay, I think we have one last question. No, I know this question. I'm going to ask it. And it could be a whole episode. So I'm going to ask you to do your best.
Oh,
And to make it really short and simple and help us understand it.
okay.
Because I know you can do that. You don't have to hang your head. This is a wonderful challenge.
Okay.
So, can you explain reincarnation and soul families? Can you switch soul families when you reincarnate?
Yeah, that's the spoke I was talking about.
Okay.
That's the spoke. See? Somebody already was asking, and I was explaining it earlier. Yes! You're in this spirit family, and you and that spirit family has 10 incarnations. But one incarnation, boop, the spoke is down here because it's touching this spirit family. That happens a lot.
This was so much fun. I feel like we could do easily part 2 of this episode, if not just another segment that has a lot of this information. I know that you were sending me links on the family constellation, and we will definitely look into it. I think it's time to go.
I really had a good time, and I thank you so much for being here and watching. And I'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, that's bad.
I'll see you soon, baboon.
Come on, Jesse.
Bye, Maitland.
That is not playing a
Bye
game.
bye, butterfly.
Cut it loose, mongoose.
With Jamie. The lighter side. With Jamie. The lighter side.